Geez, that's a short list.
It can be a short show. We'll see what happens.
Tonight on 8.5-bit, Metroid, Samus Returns, Destiny 2, and Octopath Traveler. I let him do the click.
Yay.
Welcome, friends of all designs, to episode 225 of 8.5-bit, which I'm sure is going to be the most roid-filled episode of them all. I'm your host, Paul, and joined today are my good friends, James.
Hello.
And Toast.
Hey, Toasty. He's going to contribute a lot to the show today.
He might bite our feet.
He might bark.
All sorts of fun
do
things.
other doggy things.
He's being a bit tired today, so maybe he'll stay down.
He came up and was happy to see me. He didn't try to eat my hands.
Oh, that's nice.
Normally he'll eat my hands and try to de-pants me. He didn't do that.
I understand the sentiment. James, how are you going?
I'm going pretty well.
That's good.
Paul, I have a confession.
Yeah?
I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
Why?
Because I thought I was done. I even got to the end of the main grindable gear part of the game.
What's your power level?
I'm 270.
So you geared up for the raid. Is the raid out?
The raid is out.
Have you done the raid?
No. Wait.
So you haven't even done the shit yet?
No, like this. But I've run out of things to filler things to do. Like when you just load it up. Like the gear I'm getting isn't very good. Like I'm not progressing anymore. It's not giving me higher numbers. But I keep playing it.
Oh, yes.
Because I hope.
Caring about higher numbers is the one thing
I really want the numbers to get bigger, Paul.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me some little bit of Destiny? No, I don't want to talk about Destiny. I'm not starting with Destiny. Fuck that, no. Because it's going to be like, while you do that, I'm going to turn off the fan because I left it on during the record, which I don't normally do. And it's all clicky in the soundtrack.
Okay, buddy, I gotcha.
You going to get me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. I went camping this weekend. And the great thing about camping is it's a perfect opportunity to play with your 3DS.
Oh, you did, yes.
Yeah. It was all right. It's a place we normally go down Easter, but we went down this time of year instead. Down Girraween. -3 feels like -10.
Nice.
Which was perfect.
Yes, that's the right amount of cool.
I took about 20 kilograms of bedding for my wife.
Yep.
So it went air mattress, then a doona before we actually do the bedding. Then because we still use sheets because we're yuppies.
You glamp.
Yeah. So then there's a undersheet and a fitted sheet on top of that, and then on top of that is a sheet and 2 doonas.
Did you kick them off?
Oh yeah, I needed to do the penguin, like at least some of the limbs hanging out, because whilst it was still cold, I'm still me.
Yes.
So on the first night, I was running around without a shirt on. But eventually I did put on a jacket, I will admit. A jacket was worn.
Was there anything under the jacket?
Yes, hair.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Or feigned confidence?
Feigned confidence, God, believe me.
None of that legit real confidence. Oh,
I don't know.
Lord, no.
I do not know what real confidence feels like, James.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
No. Maybe I think it feels like being drunk.
Possibly.
Well, that's the closest I've ever been. Everything I've ever done is fake. Yeah. So no amazing camping. So just some small hikes.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
See any waterfalls?
Yes, nothing crazy big. They're just
but nice.
Technically a waterfall because it changed from one level to another. Therefore, technically a waterfall.
There is water falling. Yeah.
Despite the fact that the fall may be big enough to take a step down. We were going to go up to a waterfall, but weirdly, we had to drive to a certain point, and it was an unsealed road. And well, when we still had 10 kilometers left of that unsealed road, we decided to save the paint on the cars and just go for a different hike.
That's probably you don't really have a off-road vehicle.
It wasn't my car. I didn't
give a shit.
Someone else's car. Fuck that. Yes, so whilst down there, I spent a bit of time in the hammock playing the new Metroid.
Samus Returns.
On my 3DS, which I rarely play because I've never been a big fan of 3DS, using a new 3DS. And I was like, oh, the battery's holding up pretty good. And I did run out of battery.
Yep.
And then when I actually looked at the save file, I'd only played about 4 hours. So battery is not as good as I thought it was.
So I've been playing it on my new 3DS as well. Though I did play it on like someone else's that had the XL, the new 3DS XL. And they put a $100 battery pack on the back of it.
Oh, yes. I'm sure that helps.
To give it about 16 hours of battery life.
That's a good thing.
And the form factor of this battery in the back actually made it really comfortable to hold. Because I would say one of the criticisms I have for Metroid so far is you need a bit of finger gymnastics to play that game. You gotta kind of hold this and move this. It's not quite Metal Gear, but it is kind of screaming for a second analog stick.
What would you do with it?
Well, you use it to aim. That's what you do.
But then you'd move and aim, and that's not Metroid.
Yeah, but I think this is a battery pack, right? Like it actually gave it a bit of body, and it made it kind of comfortable to hold. It's worked quite well.
I think the controls are a little bit too easy. I'd say they're for babies.
Yeah, baby controls.
Baby Jameses.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can see what you're saying, even though, like, I mean, I'm a competent gamer. So
you got like giant hands, that's right.
And I just have a regular new 3DS, no XL. So,
Yeah.
admittedly, I did have to readjust because it's been a while since I played.
Yeah, you got to kind of curve
get my claws on, but that was fine.
Yeah.
I thought I was a good distance through the game. Metroid Samus Returns is a remake of Metroid 2 from the Game Boy.
A remake in kind of the loosest sense.
Very loose sense.
Yeah.
It's not
another Metroid 2 remake.
Yes, which was Metroid 2 done in the style of Super Metroid. This is a game based on Metroid 2.
Yeah.
Which admittedly I still haven't played a lot of, so I can't make a lot of direct comparisons to it. But I did play a decent chunk of another Metroid 2 remake, and it didn't really play like this at all.
Yeah.
So the game so far is structured in that every time you get to a new area, it's bigger and you have to kill a number of Metroid to unlock the next area. So I'm up to the 4th area and going relatively well. And then when I looked at the save file, it said like I'd done like 14%.
Jesus.
I'm like, I'm not scouring the ground. Like there's things I can't get yet because the whole game is very Metroidvania-y lock and keys. I've never seen so many different locks in a Metroid game.
Yeah, and it's also surprisingly generous with giving you new abilities as well.
Oh, constantly.
Like the one that really surprised me got early was the spider ball.
Oh, yeah.
Because the spider ball, I can now mount walls.
Which totally changes how you navigate.
Okay, this seems really powerful. But I mean, I'm only in the second area. I'm still pretty early. And I've already got the ability to just climb walls.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't kind of mess around. I was actually, you're a bit further ahead of me. I kind of was wondering if do they give out too many powers too early, and does that kind of break the game a little bit?
I say because you can see all the slots on the inventory screen. I'd say at this point I've got about half.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like I've slowed down at all.
Yeah. I
just keep getting stuff, and I think the game is really, really well structured because it's like it seems to be a really big Metroid game. Like, because you can finish Metroid. Like, I would have finished Super Metroid in the time I've played this game so far, and this says I've done 14%. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to kick my dog because he's chewing on a table and I can hear it in the record.
Hey, buddy, I'll pet him.
Yeah, give him a treat.
Hey, have a
Tell
treat.
him to chew that instead.
Hey.
So each area you're in is a relatively distinct area, and while first time through you won't be able to do everything because that's you know you're going to backtrack later. And it says, okay, there are 4 Metroid in this area. You have to kill them. And then killing them opens up the next area. But what that means is that they give you a large area, which has a little bit of progression, needing to find a thing to open another gate, but means that you can actually tackle in there's no set order of getting all these things with a few small exceptions. Yeah. So once you start getting into later in the game where you start having to go, how many? I think now the area I'm in, I need to get 12. So there's 12 places in this map I have to go and do fights. And I can just fucking head wherever.
Yeah.
Now, there's no guide on how to do that. You just explore and can I get in here? And what it has is a few clever little things. One, it has a pulse ability, which exposes the map around you. It's in an unexplored state, but shows you the general layout of the rooms. And also any breakable blocks in your vicinity will shimmer. So you can do that. Now, some people don't like that.
You can not use it.
Don't use it. It's great.
Yeah.
But if you are scouring the area trying to find a way to go, yes, I do pull out that pulse. Yeah. The other is if you've killed some at any point, you go back to where you turn in all the dead Metroid, basically, and it'll say, try going here on the map now. Now, what that means is that it's not accessible all the time. You actually have to go on a trek to go do it. It's like, okay, I'm going to travel all the way over here, and I'll get my hint, and it's only one hint. And if I don't get a new ability or something that opens up the map that I didn't realize before, I'm going to be trekking all the way back to get a next hit to it. So it's not super generous. It's generous enough that it'll stop you from getting stuck, but not so generous that it ruins the progression of the game. Because it's about exploration. Yeah. That's the big... Yeah.
Yeah. I've been surprised at how little hand-holding. Here, give us one of them.
The treaties. I'm looking for where my little spray bottle is.
He's getting... I was trying to get him to eat my shoe instead, but not enough luck. Yeah, like the game actually kind of expects you to know a lot of things, or it isn't really that handheldy about telling you how to do. Like I didn't see any like specific tutorial that told me this is how you like double bomb jump as a ball.
Yeah,
like it's just like, all right, we're just gonna put you somewhere stuck, if that, and just go. You just kind of figure it out. Yeah, like it's like it's got that scan ability in there, which you might think is sort of a bit of a babying kind of mechanic, but the rest of the game is like, no, like it's respecting you. It's not saying, oh, we're gonna, you'll get an item and it'll be like, oh, this is a freeze beam. And you're like, okay, cool, I got my freeze gun. It's not gonna say, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually tell you to freeze things and jump on them. It just goes,
but you have to exit.
Yeah, so it gates you.
Yes,
but at no point is it like, oh, freeze this and jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's refreshing when you have a game that doesn't just respects your ability to kind of.
Whilst there is new things, new abilities in this game, it does not. It doesn't expect that you've never played a Metroid before. It's like, we've had these for like 25 years now. Yeah. It's like, if you're interested in this, you probably have some experience with Metroid.
But I still think if you've never played a Metroid before, it's still one you could jump into, and I think you'll figure it out. But compare it to like a Mario game or something like that, where it's gonna, really kind of drag you slowly.
Hopefully not. We'll find out with the next one. Yeah. I mean, we don't want Nintendo to go back down the Skyward Sword route.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Doasty.
Hey, little boy.
Little puppy there. Visually, I was a bit turned off at first. I think my eyes weren't really used to the 3D on the 3DS. And I'm so used to playing my Switch, I'm used to that big screen. And so when I pick up my regular size normal 3DS, it's like, like it's a bit small, it feels a bit cramped. But I found it didn't take me long before like I was like, okay, no, this feels okay. Like,
you playing with 3D on?
I am actually.
Yeah, I like the 3D.
The 3D.
I love 2D games in 3D.
Yeah, like the 3D. I actually have it turned up quite high. Like normally I put it low, but this one I probably got like 2/3.
I pretty much always have it on full.
Yeah, I find a full, my eyes can get a bit tired, so I kind of turn it down a little bit. But it makes really good use of it. Like you can really see pretty deep into the environments, and
it doesn't suffer from any of the what you so often get in platformers, which is not being able to tell what's the platform and what's background detail. It's all very clear and separated. It's just nicely done.
When I turn off the 3D, I suddenly find it harder to read. Like, cause like I just get used to that extra information of it. So I kind of. Like a lot of 3DS games, I'd say it doesn't really matter so much. Like you can really put it in 2D, 3D. But this one, I really feel like you're getting a better experience when you're playing it in 3D.
And there's no juggling at the camera. There's no irritating 3D. No. It's just
when the camera does move, it's all controlled and it's not getting in the way.
I quite liked it, even in the intro when they had like the storyboards saying and then it was 2D art, but they'd bothered to make it layered and parallax, and it was like, it's nice. That's nice. It looks
really
good.
Nice. Yeah.
The other big change is the parry ability, I'll call it. Yeah. Which is most enemies, when you are near them, they'll go in for an attack, so they'll flash, and then if you hit them between their flash and them attacking you with this melee ability, you'll basically knock them back, and then you get an auto-aimed one-hit kill on most creatures. And that also refreshes the currency required to use that pulse ability.
Oh, I didn't realize it did that.
Yeah, so if you don't do that, you actually can't use any of those extra abilities, which you do get other ones other than the pulse if you're not aware of that.
It's pretty easy to do. Like, it's pretty generous with the flash. And it feels really satisfying. When it happens, it like drops a couple of frames to kind of really make it feel like there's been an impact. And I think it gives you like a charged up shot afterwards as well, like so you can do more damage. I found that it really made the combat feel like a kind of visceral, like a melee combat system would, which I haven't really seen that in a Metroid game before. Like it's always been kind of ranged and missiles and things like that.
Some people took umbrage with it because it makes combat quite easy because you run up, wait for something to flash, hit it, then shoot it once. It does take time, and if there's lots of things around, it may not be that clear to be able to do. But also, combat in Metroid games isn't good. And I don't mean that it's bad.
Yeah.
I just mean that it's not interesting
it's not
most of the time.
normally while you're there.
It's waiting for a thing to move around its cycle so you can get the clean shot. It's just, mainly they're obstacles. And this is just a more satisfying way to deal with obstacles with that strategic, hey, I need to get this resource, let's build that up.
And you'll get screw attack eventually anyway, which is going to speed up things getting around. And
yeah, it really becomes, I just, the fact that, enemies respawn in the room, even when you're still in it, it doesn't really bother me because I just take it as, oh, well, I can go get some more health and do a thing. And if it's a hard room or if I need to get through something quickly, they are still dangerous. It's just, if I'm taking my time, they're pretty easy most of the time. And I'm fine with that because I'm a kick-ass bounty hunter. And then I was getting a bit disappointed with the Metroid fights because they're all pretty much the same. Until, slight spoilers, they start getting into like other creatures and then you get different kinds of Metroid fights. But they're still like mini bosses. It's not like suddenly you got Ridley there or something, which I kind of expect will happen.
I think it's safe to say Ridley will show up at some point.
No, we say that, but we could be wrong. As we said, we did not play Metroid 2. We don't know if he has a place at all.
I thought in Metroid 2 there was something with like a little pet Metroid that followed you around or something. I didn't vaguely remember that. I don't know if that was in 2 or a different one. I don't know.
I forget the lineage of that.
Yeah.
That's like at the end of Super. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really big on my Metroid timeline.
No. The last. What was the last Metroid I played through?
I think it might have been Fusion for me. Not like non-Prime Metroid.
Yeah, I was thinking Prime 3. Was that the last one I actually finished?
Last 2D Metroid.
Other M, I did not finish.
We'll forget about that one.
And I didn't finish another Metroid 2 remake.
I think the last one I finished was Fusion.
And I've never finished Metroid 1.
Metroid 1's kind of hard to go back to, though.
You say that.
I do, because I've tried, and it was hard to go back to.
Yeah, and I can't negate that, because as I just said, I haven't played Metroid 1. I'm really enjoying this. It'll be interesting to see just how long it is all up. Because I was getting a little bit of the, how many types of doors can we get?
Yeah.
We're up to a lot of different types of doors at this point of the game, and some of them look crazy. And I think, but it's good because there's mechanics I'm interacting with that I don't know how they work.
Yeah.
And so I'm experimenting, and sometimes that experimenting kills me, and that's generally fine. But I think it's funny if you're fighting a Metroid, if you die, you just go back outside the room. And normally there's like a respawning enemy there, so you can just farm it for health if you...
Actually, something I would kind of like would be if I die and it puts me back to a spawn point, just refresh all my stuff. Like, because I think all that's going to happen is if I'm low, because I had the situation where I saved and I had like 14 health.
And I guess I just said I'll just sit there and farm if I need to.
Yeah. So that's why not just like that's sort of like one of the modern concessions I'd like. Like just give it back. Just fill me up.
That's what I didn't realize. If you're not fighting a Metroid and you die, you just get taken back to the last save point. Yes. Which I had been a long time since I saved. Yeah. I was like, I thought this was just like a room per room thing.
It's a Metroid game.
Admittedly, it wasn't that long. I lost about 20 minutes of play, I think. But
and now you know.
Now I know.
Yeah. Like I don't mind there being that tension of needing to get to the save point. Yeah. Like it's like the bonfire in Dark Souls. So I don't mind that as a mechanic. And I think that once I figured that out, I'm like, all right, I started to get very mindful of like, all right, where's the nearest save point? And I think Note generally does a pretty good job at, if you're going to explore a new area, it's like, okay, here's a point. And then by the time you explore the bit, here's another one. So at least so far, I haven't felt too cheated.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was talking about a robot named Fight last week, and I was very impressed how they managed to make a randomized algorithm that worked like Metroid. And now Metroid's really upped the game of its like complex lock and key algorithm. I'm like, oh shit, they got to catch up to this one now. There's a lot because this is going to end up. I just assume that end of the game's then just going to become. Every previous area is now part of the whole game world, and you need to backtrack the entire game.
It's good with teleporters as well.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a lot
good.
of teleporters around.
You can teleport between each area, and inside the area they'll have multiple teleporters as well. So getting around is pretty easy, and it's fun. So
I think the move to 3D has worked well as well.
I'm going to deal with this dog while you talk.
Okay, I'm trying to use my feet to keep him off eating the table. Oh, and he's done. Yeah, the actually having it run with 3D and 3D animation, it looks really smooth. Like it's because I think it's running at 60. Like it's running fast. I'm not used to seeing Metroid run quite like that. Like the 2D ones are kind of used to being sprite based, and, not being that smooth, and it just makes the movement feel so much more fluid. Like especially when you're jumping from thing to thing, or like the way that she'll kind of grapple at the edge into the ball, like the way that transition happens.
Yeah.
Like it's just so silky smooth. Like it just looks where that would have been 4 or 5 frames of animation before. Now it's just a regular old animation in 3D. So yeah, like that. I think they've done a good job. Like I was a little skeptical at first of the move to 3D, but I think it looks good. Looks really good.
Does it look good, Toast?
I think it does, Toasty.
Yes, it does. Yeah. I'm super impressed. I am happy to pay full price for this game.
Yeah.
Also, they gave me some kick-ass Metroid posters when I
like
got
that
it.
one back there.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
See
so good.
Yeah, sort of pop arty, and it's like, that's like because I didn't pre-order because I don't ever pre-order.
Though you apparently from the EB down the road you should have.
Why?
Because they had no copies when I went in.
Yeah.
This was like the day after it came out.
I went into a shop today and I couldn't see any shop.
Yeah.
Actually, I went into 3 shops today and I didn't see a copy.
And I went into, eventually got it from another shop. And I went in and there were 3 copies there. And I bought 2 of them because I got one for Cheryl as well. And he said, the only reason we put them out is because we forgot yesterday. Like they were meant to go out yesterday.
Yeah.
Now there's only 1 copy left. Like they'd only been out for like 20 minutes. So,
and I was there at opening of the store because I was literally just about to drive down camping.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I ended up with some posters. I had to somehow put them in my stuffed car full of camping gear. And yeah, they had to get them out the stock room. And then the amiibo that was supposed to come out with it, which had that cool squishy Metroid, which I actually quite wanted, I haven't seen anywhere. And most places in Australia have delisted them from their sites. So if they ever even existed in Australia yet, I don't know.
I haven't seen one.
Which is a bit bullshit because some options in the game are locked behind that amiibo.
Is it equipment or is it...
I think you can get like some energy tank or something.
Okay.
But then once the game's completed, you get like a super hard mode. And I'm not going to play the super hard mode anyway. But if someone wanted to, they need to get that fucking amiibo.
Yeah, that's a bit of bullshit.
Yeah, if you don't make that available. I mean, it was already a bit of bullshit. I just didn't care because I wasn't going to do it anyway. I was the opposite. I was going to get the amiibo, but I didn't care about the DLC. But someone that cared about the DLC that didn't want the amiibo, that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, Nintendo's no stranger to bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if I can ever see one of those. Maybe they couldn't get enough squishy material.
Maybe. You've got your other Samai. So I'm going with
Samus
my collective noun for my plural of Samus. You can always have more, though. Always have more.
Well, technically, that's true.
Yes.
You can always have more.
Though the resource is finite, so at some point
there is a limit.
So I think it's actually untrue.
I mean, technically, you're correct on
the best kind of correct.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, any other closing thoughts on Metroid?
No, it's really good. I hope it comes to Switch too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they'd have to do to just clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the textures are the one thing that I think would need to be... Hopefully, when they drew the textures, they drew them at high resolution and then just scaled them down. Because the geometry will probably be fine.
Yeah. They did a little thing where there's a little bit of blur.
Yeah.
A little bit of bloom to kind of... That kind of smooths out a bit of stuff on the 3DS.
Yeah, I see bloom and I'm just like, bloom is bullshit. Bloom is always bullshit. Almost always.
Poor man's anti-aliasing.
It's true. Okay, so while we're on Nintendo, let's stick with Nintendo because there's been a lot of Nintendo this year. I was thinking about it this year. This is Nintendo's year to lose.
To lose? Why do you say that?
Because Toast fell off my lap. Sorry, little boy.
You're right there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, he's our third tonight, so good work, mate. Good work. Because what the fuck is Nintendo? Sony and Microsoft doing this year?
Not a lot.
What's coming up for Christmas?
Oh, we got the Xbox One X.
What games are coming up for the One X?
Oh, games. Yeah, I can't.
So there's lots of things coming to both platforms.
What's the big thing coming?
Yeah, and this isn't me being disparaging, like saying these things suck. I'm just saying that neither of them have big highlight years.
Yeah, because we've had Destiny, which is sort of like one of the big releases for this year, and I am now trying to think are we getting Tomb Raider this year?
There's no Tomb Raiders. We're getting our COD and we're getting Battlefront.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I do discount that stuff a little bit because it's all multi-plat and everything. But even then, it's all stuff that's all a known quantity as well. Whilst you get excited for it, you don't get like, oh, what could it be?
Yeah, though Nintendo, we got Mario, Xenoblade, other things.
I'm going to pull this up out of the next bit. Golf Story is this month.
Are you serious?
Yes, it says September.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
baby.
Excited.
Yeah, like that's not. I admit that's not on everyone's high list, but our high list. No, it's they're potentially looking at rounding up this year with 2 classics.
Yeah.
Depending on how Odyssey goes, but we got Zelda and that, and then we got everything else that's come out, which is just it's insanely strong.
I just think come Christmas, the lineup for the Switch is nuts.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
and that's why I'm like, it's their year to lose. It's like that's the only way they don't take this. Like their sales numbers have been great; they're getting fantastic reviews. They're good. It's product that both critics and fans are enjoying. They're really making a mark. They've also got their SNES and NES Mini stuff happening again.
Yeah, with Thank You, which was really good.
Yeah, which again was bullshit. Like we gave, like when I go back to what we were saying back then, it's like we gave it a little pass, but our pass was Nintendo was crazy. Yeah, they'd have to like do stuff to make it happen because that contract was probably over, but they're still a pretty major force with, I believe, billions of spare money, so they could do it at any time.
Riding that Wii money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now Switch money, because I mean that's outpacing the Wii as far as I'm aware.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really good to see Nintendo doing so well.
So Odyssey comes out whilst we're at PAX, I think.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have to invest in Switch batteries, so we can play that shit on the plane.
Yes. My shoe is getting eaten.
Well, that's better than the table.
I guess it's
I really need to put some bitter apple on that. I lost my spray bottle. I don't know where it is. I normally keep it here to keep the dog down. And myself.
All right.
Yeah. So do you think we can just skip out on our PAX panels just to play
Mario?
Mario?
Yeah, I think they'll understand.
No,
we still do the panels.
Whilst playing Mario?
Yeah. We just we can put it up on a screen maybe. Like up behind us?
Yeah, well, I'm only emceeing, so I don't. I just have to introduce people. I don't technically have to do anything.
I know we're meant to talk about Trespasser, but could we just, talk about Mario?
No, buddy, you haven't started playing yet. We definitely need to talk about Trespasser. Trespasser is amazing.
I'm looking forward to jumping into that.
Yeah, look forward to that. Hopefully, we'll have all the PAX stuff recorded this year. We can put it up.
Yes.
Because I don't think we did.
I'm going to try holding the dog.
Yeah, he is obsessed with that table today. Or we can just put it. Oh, if we put him outside, he'll scratch at the door. Oh well. I mean, this is a short episode anyway. We can just cuddle Toast. Yeah, he's a cuddly mutt.
You sit here, little buddy.
Had to give him a shower because whilst we were camping, he couldn't come with us. It was a national park.
Yes.
So we left him at mother-in-law's, and we discovered that Toast can dig under fences.
Oh.
Because he's never done that at our house. But next to my mother-in-law's place, there is this big dog. I'll call it a hound. It's not a hound, but just a big, like that tall off the ground sort of dog called Hank.
Okay.
And Toast really wanted to fucking play with Hank. So we dug a hole, just like army crawled under there. And then they pulled him back and they sealed up the hole, so we just dug another hole. And when we got there, we called out Toast, and the 2 dogs that were living at the house came running out. And then from the side of us, we just see Toast army crawling under the fence, coming back to see us, just caked in mud and dirt. Dear. I've never seen him so filthy because he just kept crawling through the dirt. And thankfully, he hasn't tried to dig out of here yet. Although I preempted that with burying bricks along the perimeter. So good he technically couldn't dig out. Well, I mean, he still could if he gave it enough of a good go. But he just loves it here so much. He'd never try to escape, would you?
Never.
No. Well, I mean, if you saw a fun dog outside, he would.
Good thing you live next to a graveyard where there are no fun dogs.
No. Just dog skeletons. Ooh. He'd just eat the bones. It's true. Yes. What was it? I was going to say something. Whatever. Yeah. He's not an escaper. He's just, if he sees something fun, he wants to be involved in it. So you can leave the front door open and the front gate open, and he's like whatever. But then, like, if a dog walks fast or something, it's like, oh, well, I may as well. He just loves to play. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so video games. Continuing with... We'll get all the Nintendo stuff out of the way.
There's a lot of Nintendo. It's a bit of a Nintendo show, this one.
Kind of. I mean, admittedly, I don't have a lot to say about most of this. I have a long list here simply because I didn't edit before the show. As I haven't been near computers for most of the last few days and everything, so I just threw everything on here. So there was a Nintendo Direct, and they covered things. They covered a lot of 3DS, which I was surprised at.
Yeah, I think they're still banking on this 2DS a bit. Like they, maybe it's for like emerging markets. Like that could be something they're going after.
I think
they're dirt cheap. Like that new TDS.
Yeah, well, I think that's where you start getting to like sort of lower privileged areas and everything. It's like when you start getting the really end of life low, and there's like, hey, you know what? And I don't think I'm throwing anyone on the bus here, but let's say Brazil. I believe consoles are fucking expensive.
Yeah. So that's why like PS2 and things like that, and
like
why they're really big in kind of places like that. Yeah.
So it's like, hey, here's an end of life thing. It's much cheaper than it used to be, and it has 5 years of games with it, which we can now sort of get all of our empty stock and just sort of push it over towards you. And I think that's the point of life where because I don't think the 3DS is dead. But I was just surprised at how much continued support it is having. So things there. Look, there's not a lot really new here. Just things we knew, like Sun and Moon Ultra from Pokemon. Yeah, you needed that extra word in there. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga's coming out, the remake. I still haven't looked into how much of that is like a remake and just like a port. Because the thing is, I don't care. I think I still have that game. I can just go play it. And it hasn't aged. It's just like it had really good solid art, and you could just anyway. I guess because it was GBA, wasn't it? Little Superstar.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there isn't a GBA slot on a 3DS. So if you didn't have a DS, you can't keep playing it, or a GBA. I mean, yeah. The new Kirby, the Battle Royale, which just looked like nothing that I care about.
That's like co-op, right? And I think they're dropping co-op.
The Battle Royale, I don't know. It just looked like sort of the the stuff that was from like Triple Deluxe and everything. Just like, hey, here it is as its own thing, and I don't care. I don't really want to fight other Kirbys and stuff. That said, the Kirby on the Switch that's coming out, which did get a name.
Oh, I think that's the one I was talking
Kirby
about.
Star Allies.
Yeah, that's the one where there's a bunch of co-op in there.
Yeah. And you recruit monsters and everything to fight with you and everything. Yeah, I mean, I will probably get that because even though I just was disparaging towards Kirby, I'm still a Kirby fanboy.
You do like your Kirby a lot.
Yeah, that said, I don't know if it looks that exciting for people that aren't already Kirby invested. But that's all right. I am, so fuck you. Yoko Watch 2 coming, new Layton Mystery, Minecraft was announced and released.
Yeah, for new 3DS.
For new 3DS. Yes, this is all 3DS at the moment. I mean, yes, sure, why not?
I don't know. That Layton one I find interesting because it's out on iPhone, and you can buy it, I think, for like $16, $17 or something like that.
And I imagine it's a full price game on the 3DS.
I would imagine so. I can't see Nintendo selling that thing for under $20.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Minecraft, it's not going to be part of like all the play systems and everything. It's just going to be like
I think they said, I can't remember the exact version number, but they said it was like of like some particular version. I don't believe there's any multiplayer in there yet, but there was like talk of maybe.
Like just get it on any other platform.
Yeah. I'm impressed they got it running on there. It only runs on the new 3DS, not the original one. It's cool that they announced it and just released it.
Yeah.
And it looks good. Like it doesn't look like a pared down version of it.
The most exciting news that there's a Mario Party game coming out for 3DS for James. It's 100 of the best mini games
minus
from
the
Mario
party part.
Yeah, it's just the mini games.
I see that I'm interested in.
Without the bullshit board game, like it does. You just don't. We don't see your blood pressure rise quite high enough. That's they've been talking about. There's a good possibility that mini N64 will be announced end of next year.
Okay, yeah.
There's a few patents that came out and just like, hey, this is kind of what they did with the last two things. Hey, maybe that's going to happen. It's like, what do I want on the N64?
I just got me thinking about a mini GameCube.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's getting a bit. I mean, maybe. I mean, why not?
But, I just think it'd be so adorable. Could you imagine, like, about the size of an Ouya? But like a little, but still has to have the handle. I'm able to pick this thing up. Yeah.
The handle is the most important part.
It's the first portable
and
console.
it better be fucking purple. I mean, the black, orange. I like the orange.
Is nice.
The
orange is nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, what do I want on the N64? It's like, you know what? Most games, there's like they've been remade or ported or whatever, or they actually weren't that good. Like all the Mario parties, and just and I'd buy it with full controllers, and I would force you to play it with, and I would laugh forever. We need to do like 100-round game one time. Like get Cheryl up, like we'll get Amy along, and we will just have the best time.
I'll end up killing myself.
75% of us will have the best time, and James will have a miserable time.
You know, I think I could probably skip on N64 Mini.
No.
I think, like, I've gone back and I've gone to a lot of older generations. The one that I've never been able to click with much is the N64.
See, the one benefit of the N64 generation is that, not that you can't emulate it, it's been emulated, but if they're re-releasing the controllers...
Yes, yeah, that is...
you can't recreate... Like, no one makes controllers like that, so you always have to... And in some ways it's better, but it's not the same.
No, you're right, because that... I guess maybe one of the things that's always been a bit of a roadblock to go back and play N64 games is I don't have the controller.
Yeah.
And it seems like so much of that console was the creative uses of that controller.
Yeah.
So maybe I would.
For better or
take
worse.
that back. I'd give it a go.
You just play mine.
Give it a college try.
Give it a red hot go.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was willing to sell me his N64 and like pretty much all the best games and 4 controllers that had all been recently refurbished. It was all top of the line, for pretty much like cost. I was just like, oh, do I actually still want to spend cost on this thing? I mean, it's still a good few $100s. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I want it, but I also probably won't play it.
Yeah.
But if I could get it for, at SNES Mini prices, then maybe I would fall for it. Where were we going? So Mario Party. James is very excited.
Yeah.
Best and good news. Just one cart, and then it's download play.
Oh, okay.
So 4 of us can play.
Huzzah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy it 4 times. That's just because you want it. I can just see like a stack of them. Some of them like still sealed, and I was just like, oh, this is my copy. Oh, good. A game called Metroid Samus Returns is coming out.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah. Mainly just wankers on the internet talking about it from what I've heard. Some Atlas RPGs coming, new Ace Attorney. See, this is all like, it's just things that we know.
Yeah.
Finishing that up, that's not even that interesting. Then Switch stuff, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, they had a pretty big presentation on that. I'm like, yeah, that's more Xenoblade.
Yeah.
It in fact, it kind of brought me back to being like Xenoblade Chronicles, because I thought it was what I'd seen previously. The game got a little more cartoony than I wanted. Now that I've seen more of it, I'm like, oh no, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Because
I played the 3DS one.
Yes.
And that was Chronicles X.
No, that was Chronicles.
That was just Chronicles.
Yeah, that was a remake of Chronicles.
Okay. And I did...
Or remaster.
I enjoyed it, but I found that I didn't actually like it in that smaller form factor.
Yeah.
So I am pretty keen.
There can be a lot of on-screen information.
I just found it kind of clunky and awkward to play.
I think on a big screen it should feel pretty good. And the world is so cool. Like we exist on the back of dead giant creatures. I mean, that's fun.
We're going to his knee.
Yeah, going to the knee. Splatoon 2 updates, Fire Emblem, but there's a expansion pack. I think it's being sold as DLC, but you can also just buy the whole thing. Snipper Clips Plus.
Oh, okay,
so content.
So that one, it's there is DLC. I remember they mentioned that.
Yeah.
So you can just get DLC on top of.
Yes. And that because I mean that was kind of a silent cult hit when it was first, because it was not many games on the store, and it was an actual good one. They covered Morphe's Laws quite a bit. I'm interested that they really back in Morphe's Law.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as I said, I think the game looks really fun, but I also don't think I'll get a player base, so I'm like...
Especially on the Switch.
Especially on the Switch, yeah. But, I mean, if they keep pushing it, who knows? Maybe. Rocket League, there's MOBA, Arena of Valor. Is that that's something that already exists, isn't it?
I don't know. As soon as I saw MOBA, I kind of switched off.
Tune out, boom. Skyrim. Then, like, the most surprising announcement... Doom and Wolfenstein 2.
Yes, especially the Wolfenstein 2 part.
Yes.
Like, I could see someone going, all right, we'll get that Doom game on. But this is a game that isn't even out yet that they're bringing. I heard that Doom will run, I think it's 60 at 720 when you plug it into the TV.
I haven't heard actual
that was the one, I know. I heard from a guy.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
As long as it's running 60, I don't care as long as I can. Like, it's I heard that they're going to you have to do some pretty major things to how it's being rendered, because obviously.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but as long as they're prioritizing 60, that's all that really matters, and as they just have the general gameplay there. I don't know if I'd double dip on it. I mean, it's an amazing game, but I have it on PC, and if I want first-person shooters, I play them on PC.
The one that I'm really on the fence now is Wolfenstein. because like I loved Wolf New Order. I thought it was great. And I was playing that on a bit of a lower end system anyway. Like on my laptop, ran at 720p. Like it didn't look that great, and so I wasn't playing it super high end anyway. And I still really enjoyed it. And so I don't mind making some concessions if I've got it in kind of a more portable form, and I can,
Well, I mean, the biggest concession is that it's not till next year.
But that's the thing that'll get me. Like I'm looking forward to Wolf 2 so much. I was considering that being the reason to get a new PC.
Yeah.
Like I just the first one's fantastic. But I don't know if I could just wait. I can't really wait.
No,
it won't happen.
I'm not interested unless they put a gyroscopic control in both of them.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Because a brief tangent. Because I've been playing a lot of Destiny Crucible, and I enjoy it. And then I was like, I'll jump back into some splats to play the new content. And as soon as I got my gyro back, I was a happy man. Like that gyro control,
I don't know why it. Like I can't think of a single game on like especially PS4. I'm pretty sure Xbox One's got motion in the controller.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Why like not just like some indie that's experimented with it on there or something? Because it works.
Yeah,
we've had proof of concept for 2 generations now.
What I don't know is how well it works for first person. It's probably okay,
true,
but it works well for third person.
That's an interesting point. Time to experiment.
Jumping back into splats, I tried the new map. The new map is great. I think it might be a map from Splatoon 1, but I never played much of Splatoon 1. So, but it's like, because one of the mechanics which is interesting in Splatoon is the grating that you can walk across.
Yes, because you can also slosh through if you turn into a squid.
Yeah, so you kind of forces you to slow down. So you get like the height advantage, but you can't recharge your ink. And if you go into squid form, you just drop through it. And so this one is basically the whole top level is that. So there's this huge scaffolding that sits above the bottom area. I've only been able to get it once in the rotation, but it was super fun. Like I really, really enjoyed it. I'm so glad they keep adding content to that game.
Well, I mean, that's the design of it. They keep you going.
I just keep going back to it. Like, because I reached a point in Destiny where it's like, okay, I'm not really getting that much more gear. And that's one of the main hooks to kind of keep playing it. And like I don't mind Crucible. It's okay because I'm actually not terrible at it, surprisingly. But then I'll go I'll play it for a bit and I'll just go back to my splats. I'm like, oh, that's right. This is the one that's more fun. Like it's just like a more pleasant experience, bright, colorful, short rounds. Really like Splatoon, Paul.
Yeah,
I listen to the soundtrack a lot because it is a good soundtrack.
Every time and there was an ARMS update in this thing as well. Every time I see an ARMS thing and they've got that whoa, that song just eats into my brain. It's like I don't know if it's good or bad.
I don't know how ARMS is going with if it's keeping like a hardcore community. I noticed Splatoon had a bit of a drop off with Destiny. I found that I'm getting a lot more Japanese players, which generally means that the English isn't there as much. But it seems to have kind of picked up a little bit again now. But yeah, ARMS, I don't know. Like, I'm not interested in going back to ARMS. Like, I didn't feel like it was. There was I think I stick with Splatoon because it's new maps. There's new weapons all the time, and like when I get a new weapon, I got to figure out how it works, how can I use it efficiently. I don't really get that feeling as much with ARMS.
Yeah, I think with ARMS they needed to potentially make the different ARMS more extremely different because. Other than a couple of big examples,
there's some way that you put down the
really
barrier and you
can
kind of move around, but I think a lot of the time it's like, will it do this or will it do this? Yeah, and
will it curve out or will it?
Yeah, is it big and will it counter, or is it small and is it fast? Like it doesn't feel like if I'm using like the bubble weapon in Splatoon where I'm firing bubbles of ink that other people are shooting.
Yes, a completely different kind of gameplay
this is a different thing. Or I go into
even just roller versus splatter. It's like pretty major difference how you play.
And then you get like little brushes where it's like basically you turn to Sonic mode and it's just about getting around. Like it's like it feels like there's so much variety there in that game. I just don't really get that with ARMS.
Yeah, I enjoyed it when it came out, but in retro, like I still had a good time, but I sort of like it didn't. The basics were great, but then it didn't open itself up to me as I kept playing, and I was like, okay.
If it had a campaign, like if you look at all the supporting stuff around Splatoon, like I wonder if that would have been enough to keep people invested.
You haven't played through the single player of Splatoon yet, have you?
No, I didn't, because that's not really where I'm at for it. But it was enough for me to I do a little bit of it.
But I was saying I haven't played anywhere near as much multiplayer, but I went through and totally tore that single player apart because that's what. And then it's got the co-op side of it, so it gives you a lot of different options. Well, I mean, yes, there's a single player in ARMS, but
it's not. But only just.
It technically counts. Anyway, just finishing off this stuff. There was an announcement that people tried to make a big deal of. They didn't care. They're doing arcade archives for Switch, which is old Nintendo arcade games, which haven't really been
like
released.
Mario, but like the arcade. Cabinet,
The original Mario Bros, which I've played the arcade cabinet of, and that's 3 minutes of my life, which was fine. And then there's a bunch of games I haven't seen at all, which are like all these versus things, like versus Choo Choo. I think it's Clue Clue, not Choo. I haven't played it anyway. And the versus Punch Out. Like I don't know what they are, if it's interesting or not.
I mean, I can see for party games, like it could be an interesting thing if there's a bunch of versus modes in there. You can bust it out for multiplayer. And
I assume that's what it is by them being called versus.
There's been no mention of any other virtual console stuff.
No, except for golf on NES. They found out it's built into the firmware.
Oh, really? Yeah. Really? Okay.
It's just sitting there on the Switch, golf.
I wonder if they're waiting for the first NES. They're going to get for free.
They're going to drop it on everyone one day. We've pushed the button. Everyone's got NES golf. Fucking yeah.
It's more likely that they didn't take it out. They just got it didn't get commented out properly. And just somehow managed to slip its way in.
Let's just test it. Let's just test it with something that nobody gives a fuck about. Yeah. That sounds good to me. So there's that. Blah, 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 blah. Skipping that because Dragon Quest Builders coming out the Switch. Yeah. Which both I was excited by and disappointed by.
No multiplayer.
Yes, because Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming out and it has multiplayer. I'd rather have that, please.
Yes, because that game multiplayer would be amazing.
Yeah, because I really wanted to play Dragon Quest Builders and I never did. Partly because I wanted to play it portably, but the Vita version was a little bit shit.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but just not as good as the PS4 version. Like, well, this could be the best of both worlds for me, except now I know that the version that this kind of puts in the one thing that was missing from it is coming, and that's not what's coming to the Switch.
I really hope they change their bullshit reset mechanic.
What bullshit reset mechanic?
So Dragon Quest Builders, once you finish the first world and you move to the next, you lose everything.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I've heard so many people talk about that game. That's what the game is to me.
No,
just have a thing that lets you go back to the other worlds. I guess that could be the best of both things for you.
But Dragon Quest 2, Builders 2. Hopefully that one makes its way over as well.
Hopefully that would be good. Kirby Star Allies, which we mentioned. A bunch of stuff in the eShop coming. So that's where Golf Story coming in September came out. I think SteamWorld Dig is next week.
I'm keen on that. SteamWorld Dig, the first one was great.
Yep. Then just the LA Noire, Sonic Forces, Lost Sphere, just all stuff coming out. And then finished off with Super Mario Odyssey. And we got to see Mario's nipples, which was very exciting.
Apparently it's exciting, yes.
Yeah.
He is a humanoid character with nipples.
I saw someone shop him so that he had lots of body hair because he's an Italian man. But I hadn't seen the trailer yet. Yeah. So I just thought it was a screenshot and I didn't know what the point of this thing is. That would have been great. I do think they should put some body hair on him because he is a fat baby.
I was surprised people were gave a shit about this because I always assumed that Mario was human.
Yeah.
He's a man. So I'm guessing Mario has a penis. I'm going to assume tucked in there.
He keeps it in a box.
It's just in his junk keeper.
He tucks it under his belt.
Yeah. I assume it's there. I don't see how this is surprising.
I don't know what a penis is. What's surprising? I don't know. What are people surprised by? Oh, are people surprised by the nipples?
Yeah, apparently he's got nipples. Let's write a Kotaku article. I go, okay.
I guess I didn't check Kotaku. It seems...
it's such a non-event.
It does seem pretty much a nothing to me also. Yeah. It's yes, when I'm rendering someone shirtless... If they're any sort of mammal, they probably get nipples.
Did he have a belly button? I can't remember that.
I think he actually is wearing his board shorts quite high.
Oh, so you can't see. So we don't know if he's actually been birthed. That we don't know.
But he is sporting a massive moose knuckle.
What?
Because they're pulled up so high.
Oh, moose knuckle. That's what it's called.
I think there is actually a special name for when the balls are separated, but
I don't know.
Really know. It's not my forte.
Yeah.
surprisingly. Yeah, Odyssey just continues to look amazing and whatever. So that was.
I'm actually trying to stay a little bit dark about Odyssey because I'm going to buy it.
Oh yeah,
so I don't really look at it too much.
Yeah, I don't need to know anything else about it.
It looks like it's a game of surprises. It looks like it's a game of discovery. So I don't need to see anything. Like I'll just figure that shit out.
I'm always surprised when someone's like, "Here's a 45-minute playthrough." It's like, why would I watch that?
Yeah.
Like, like it's a game about discovering cool little things. I would just have 45 minutes of cool little things ruined. I'm already sold. Even if it's shit, I'm still going to buy it at this point, because I've been convinced by the corrupt mainstream media that it's good. So corrupt.
All those Kotaku nipple articles. They sold you.
That's what sells clicks. Nipples.
Delicious clicks.
It's true. So the game we did skip in there was Project Octopath Traveler, which we skipped because it also released a demo.
Yep.
And James and I have both played basically nothing of the demo.
Yes, I've played somewhere around 15, 20 minutes.
That's more than me, unfortunately. I really was like, I'm going to sit down this afternoon and do it. And then I had jobs.
Which does say something about the game. That I've played it that much, and then I kind of stopped.
What does it say?
It says that, it either says it's a bit boring, or I'm not really that into JRPGs anymore. As much.
How many traditional JRPGs have you been into? Chrono Trigger doesn't count.
Shit. That's a good question, actually. I like Golden Sun. I played a lot of.
Okay. I haven't played. Is Golden Sun turn-based still?
I believe so. It's been a while since I played it.
I thought it might have been a bit Secret of Mana-ish.
I don't think it was. Or maybe I can't. It's been so long.
I admittedly haven't played the Golden Sun.
Other ones?
Other ones?
Yes. Cthulhu Saves the World.
Doesn't count.
Ah, damn it.
So you get into too self-aware postmodernish.
Yeah.
So Project Octopath Traveler is the
working title.
No, I think they should keep it.
It's a terrible title.
Good.
It's so bad.
Good.
So the game starts up and I'm pretty sure there's 8 characters, of which 2 are unlocked that you can pick
in the demo.
Yeah, in the demo. And the game loads up. I picked the boring man, which sounded like James
is so boring. You have a choice of 2 people. One's like, oh, it's the downtrodden warrior. It's like, I've played that. Or you could be the sexy lady dancer who's being kept in servitude.
This is one of those things which exposes my gender bias so strongly, because I did not even read the description of the woman. I just went, man. It says a lot.
Well, I suppose it says something about both of us, because I was like, look at that man. I bet he's boring. He's probably all broody.
Well, the thing is, you were right. But I mean, it's visually striking the moment you get into it.
The thing that I think is wonderful about this game is they've taken exactly the art from 16-bit era JRPGs, the same tiles, the same
pixelated kind of look,
and they've just tilted the world almost like Mode 7-ish, but done in actual 3D. The game's done in Unreal Engine. And then they've just effects everywhere, depth of field, fog, all sorts of stuff. And what it does is it takes an undeniably nostalgia-filled old school look and makes it look really, really nice and passable without having to change the art in any way whatsoever. And in fact, it's like you could just flatten it down and just have it as a top-down game. It would probably be exactly the same. And I thought it was beautiful. And I was like, they gave it some bullshit name a while ago. They called it like a 2.5 HD or some rubbish like that. I'm like, fuck off. Whatever. It's just lots of sprites and layers, but it works really well. And I think other than that, where you're going, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it is a very, very traditional JRPG of the 16-bit era, which it takes a very specific taste.
Yeah. And it feels a bit funny to me when they go to all these lengths to visually innovate, but then when it comes down to what I'm doing, like, just feels like I'm playing. I get like when I was playing I Am Setsuna. Like,
I don't, because other than because I haven't played enough to know, but other than like concessions to like modern saving and like structure of the game and everything, I think it's 100% the goal to just make this something for this community, which is somewhat underserved. Other than more, it's like the fan community serves them more these days, your RPG Maker and things like that. What I do like about this game is that each of these characters that you can pick and play through the game as, and I don't know how that's structured yet, because they're not separate stories. you like choose the perspective you're going to go through, and then you like intertwine. Like it sounds like the game might have epic replayability and like the way the stories can like cross over and stuff like that. But you won't be able to see that in the demo. But each person has like an archetypical interaction that it can do with basically everyone. So when you're the shitty warrior, you can just go pick a fight with fucking anyone, basically. Yeah. Just like, I'm going to challenge. Or if you're the lady, you can do a lusty dance. It's seduce. It's not seduce. It's something like that. Yeah.
It's some kind of fan dance.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And that's where I think being super traditional, but their one gameplay twist being how this world's going to build with all these potential starting points.
And I guess given I've played so little of it, I really can't comment too much on the structure.
And I don't think you'll be able to from the demo. I mean, unless I'm going to be shocked and I go and put in 5 hours of it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the demo's that big.
The thing that really turned me off though is that I started the game 15, 20 minutes of, or it was originally voiced, and eventually when you get through all of the dialogue and you're actually moving around, there's far less voice.
Yes.
I just don't care. Like it's verbose and boring, but I think it's like you're right. Like it's for a person with particular taste. Like if you want your dry fantasy,
you could say for fans of the genre, if you're a fucking hack,
yes, then it's probably going to deliver. Like if this is something that you want, but in terms of making it more broadly accessible. But I don't think it's that. Maybe it's not their goal.
Yeah,
like
I don't think
they're not even
trying
to do
successful.
that. It's like we're going to make a thing. I guess like you have stuff like your I was going to say like Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny and things like that, which do pretty much the same thing as like, we're going to make these things pretty. We're going to kind of give them some kind of modern graphical overhaul.
But at the end of the day, I don't think they actually made those that pretty.
Well, you can still go back and look at Torment and Baldur's Gate. They still look pretty good.
Yeah. About the same, really.
Yeah.
I mean, a few concessions, a bit of lighting changes, really, and resolution scaled better.
But they did really make, like, with those, they're going, all right, we're going to make this for people who want these things, and that's what they're going to deliver. So I guess in that context, like, they're probably just doing the same thing. And so if it's not really your thing to start off with, then yeah. So I guess it didn't make me think, if you're not someone who's super into JRPGs, it's not like you're going to play this and suddenly be into it. Like it's not that.
That's what a Chrono Trigger is for.
That is what Chrono Trigger, the best JRPG.
Exactly. So I've got some amazing news.
Yeah.
So in our amazing news segment today, segment. So yesterday, I think it was, if you were playing Fortnite on the PS4, you could play with people on Xbox.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of like that old World War I story where, like, for Christmas.
Oh yeah, and they all get up and
they all went and played soccer. Like
it
was like this one beautiful moment. Everyone was together.
Yeah,
and it was just wonderful. And
so
then
the reaction was, "Oh my." Has crossplay actually finally been allowed? Have Sony and Microsoft settled their differences in this one glory? No, it was a mistake. But I think it was a deliberate mistake. I think it was them just like pointing out to everyone. It's like, you know how we're all like, this is fine and would work fine if it wasn't for this bullshit? It's literally a button. We could just push this button and everyone would play together.
How much it'd be great if Destiny, if I could play, because I do know plenty of people that play on Xbox One. If I could just play with them and then PC came out and then everyone could play together, that would be great.
What a beautiful world it could be.
This wonderful world.
I mean, especially like there's so like we talk about the indie game, multi indie game problem, which is just not enough fucking people.
Yeah.
If all those games were just allowed to say like, you know what, let's take 3-4 ecosystems and just merge them.
Yeah, put them into one.
It's like you suddenly don't have. Well, I mean, it's still a problem, but it's less of a problem. It's a bigger pool. It's not 4 separate pools. So just fucking get over it, guys. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. Anyway, PUBG is real popular.
But yeah, still going along.
Yep. So PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, as the plebs call it, it is now past the most concurrent users of all time on Steam.
Like 1.3 million or something?
Yeah, a little bit over that.
Something dumb. It was just
so it beat Dota 2.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. And I would also point out that Dota 2 is a free game, and this is a $30 US game.
I think so.
So
I'm starting to feel like
you were wrong.
I was wrong. I can accept that I was wrong getting my Steam refund.
I think it's Jeremy's new Overwatch at the moment.
Oh, really?
I think he's into it. I still have it. I've put it in my cart about 5 times. I still haven't pushed the go button because the problem with me is that I still don't going to put in that many hours into it. So I'm like, it's going to be, but it is the thing of the year. It is other than our Switch stuff. It's PlayerUnknown's year to lose. It's so much that I've heard a number of sites discussing what do we do when it comes to Game of the Year awards because we don't include early access games.
Yeah.
So I hope they release because this is going to be awkward otherwise because it's literally the game everybody's playing and talking about. We actually don't really talk about PlayerUnknown's much, but
I feel like I should give it another go. Like I feel like if there's that many people playing it, there's got to be something there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still haven't played it, so I mean, I'm just talking at my ass here. But it just strikes me as like, hey, you know how I tried to play DayZ and it fucking sucked because I didn't have the hours to put in to understand. It's like, but you hear about all the good stories. It's a way of just making those stories happen in 15 minutes instead of 15 hours. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a bell. I'll, so I can get some of those hot pink shorts you can get in the game. I think they
would suit you.
They'd suit me great. Okay. I've got one more thing on news.
That's the thing.
That game company. We missed talking about this when we talked about Apple last week.
When they're making
they are
mobile game?
They're making their new game called Sky, which is releasing first on Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone.
Okay.
And the trailer is out, and other than a slightly more cartoony art style, I'd say, it is the end of journey, end of sentence. Like, it's like, hey, we're going to take the end of Journey and we're just going to turn that into a game.
But that needed the setup to be interesting.
Yes. I mean, then that doesn't mean that they can't then take from that point and do something else. But I mean, like, the characters are, like, dressed in, like, the fucking robes.
I think we should... I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, looking at the track history of that game company, that there's going to be something there.
I say that, but they did make Flower.
I enjoyed Flower.
I'm not saying Flower was bad. I'm saying that there wasn't a lot there.
But yeah, you're right. There wasn't a terrible amount going on with it. It was a little tech demo for the...
Hey, and I'm not disparaging that game company. Journey is among my favorite games. It is cool. But it is funny. It's like, well, if the Apple TV is kind of, I get, because it does have some shitty controller with it. But if it's also going to be on iPad and iPhone, then... I know, yeah. What's the game going to be like?
I don't know.
Because it looks like Journey, and I would not play Journey on an iPad.
I'm going to guess Tilt.
Tilt to
best control.
It's always good. Everyone likes, like, you're sitting on a bus and you're like, oh, I'm flying. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I'm so relaxed.
That's a gist of it, yes. I played one good Tilt game on mobile. Tilt to Live. It's you hold it down flat and you tilt it. One of the actually really early mobile games use Tilt, and I haven't seen anything.
Was it like a maze thing where you tilt like
it was like a
monkey ball or something? Oh,
yeah, it's worth checking out. Tilt to Live is really good.
Refuse. I believe Gilbert's Scurvy Scallywags. I think that's free now.
Oh,
or at least
I'm pretty sure I bought
free.
it. Like it'd still be attached to my account.
Oh yeah, got to get in there. Got to Scurvy.
I think that's funny.
Thimbleweed comes out on Switch next week, I think.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll go back.
Well, why would you? You've played it once.
Because I haven't played the arcade.
Oh, okay.
But I could just load up my PC.
You could, like, you don't have to buy it again. I'm sure Ron would appreciate it.
I like playing things on the Switch.
I know you do, buddy.
It's a good console. I like it. I'm gonna find a good battery pack.
You should. Can you just get like a
marine battery? Probably.
Just like a regular battery pack, like a.
No, yeah. Switch requires a pretty hefty amount of power.
Pretty hefty one.
Yeah. In fact, some people had things that they plugged in devices thinking they'd charge the Switch, and the Switch charged the device.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, oh,
all right.
That went the wrong direction. I can't speak to that from experience, but that's what I heard. Yeah, there's some good cases and stuff that have been kickstarted and Indiegogo and everything, where it's like, oh, this gives you an HDMI port on the Switch, and it also is a battery pack and does everything. But they're all things that I'm like, I don't know what the build quality will actually be like, and I'm not dropping $100 on this just in case it's good.
Because when we had our Mario Kart day, I remember using my little portable battery to plug in. Gave me a decent amount of extra life. Like, it was okay. Like, it was, kept things going for a bit. I reckon you had 2 or 3 of them. You could get a At least 4
Get
or
a
5
stew
hours.
going.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much ticks next to all our things.
Yeah, we all ticked off.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could end the show then.
Yeah.
And want to dance?
Oh, because I could go home and play more Destiny.
Nah.
I might go play some more Splatoon. But I'm doing my quest to get my exotics. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Well, you just wait a while and then those exotics will be pointless.
Oh, I could wait for Zer to come back. He sells exotics once a week. See, I've done all my weeklies. On the weekend, I did my weeklies.
See, this is kind of the thing.
And now I'm like, well, my weeklies are done.
The Destiny grind I find a little bit funny. I mean, like, obviously it's a good, like, mindless game in many ways. I mean, when you're doing the more serious strikes, yes, people work hard, but yes, generally most people play it kind of mindlessly. But every time, like, a new big content release comes out, like, all the shit that was good is now common and worthless.
Oh, that's fine. That I have zero problem with.
But it's just been like, if I were to play, I would play like you have now. I'd get up to like the level where and then I'd just be like, well, no point fucking doing anything because it's all going to be worthless in 3 months. I'll just wait.
Oh, okay. No,
and then I'll be done.
I still don't mind still working for, like, because they tend to look cool, so you can kind of work for the cosmetic.
Yeah, but you can't make a match anymore.
No, you can't. You can't. Normally there'll be some limit on how much you can raise it as well.
I just meant because the shaders are limited.
Oh, actually, the shader thing I have no problem with.
We said this before, but I've had so many people that want, because you do change gear pretty regularly. If you want to like have everything with that fancy raid shader, then you got to play that raid hundreds of times.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, there's actually quite a small difference between, like, if you want red,
yes,
you're gonna find a bunch that are red. Like, if it's unless there's a very particular shade of red that you want.
Are you saying that people aren't obsessed about dressing up their dolls in Destiny?
People can do that. But honestly, that shader thing, for me, I actually prefer the new system.
Why?
Because it gives me something else to aim for.
Gives you something else to grind.
Yeah, it does. No, but that's in a game which is about getting loot. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's a game about playing it once every 3 months and just getting all that shit that everyone else worked for in like 2 minutes.
I think... So where I am now, my Destiny status update is I feel like I've reached a bit of a turning point for what the game is. So up until about light level 270.
Oh, yes.
Which is when I think the raid is 260. I'm at 270.
There's some hairs on your mustache that I just want to pull out.
Really?
Yeah, it's like three like real sticky out white ones.
Oh, I tried to comb it down before I came. So
fuck that hair.
I need to kind of trim it. I
don't normally look at your face this much.
Even though you can't look away.
I normally got notes, but there's no real notes.
Should I go up to
today.
the camera so people can get a good look?
No, fuck no, you'll lose us viewers.
Okay.
And we've only got so precious few. No one watches it. They just listen to it.
Like, why do you even bother putting this thing on YouTube?
Because it's there.
Yeah. So I kind of reached a point with it where I don't feel like I can really progress without either doing more weekly. So it's like it's gated me.
Yes.
Yeah. So the game has been like, it's quite generous. So it's like generous until a point. And then it's like, okay, you've reached the end of the generous part. Now, if you want to go any further, you got to come back next week, or you've got to kind of go do these kind of really grindy kind of things. Like it doesn't feel like I'm not getting that feeling of progression anymore.
But isn't there a certain point where that's good?
Well, yeah,
it's like
I still want it.
It wants to give you regular things, but not constant things.
Yeah. Well, I kind of understand. Like they need to at some point throttle the content.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of people do...
lets you have a life. Gives you time for the Splatoon.
Or you go and you make new characters, which is what some people do. I haven't gotten to that level. I just...
But aren't there 3 classes?
Yeah. So
you can only level 1 class. You've only done a third of the game.
You can, if you go back and level up a new one, you can get to 260, 270 in probably about 10 hours. Like you can actually get there quite fast.
So it's only going to take you 20 hours to get your other 2 characters.
Yeah, so I probably should just do that. Make an evening, few evenings of it.
Only 10 hours. You know what else I could do in 10 hours?
You could do what?
I don't know. Build a small structure.
With, like you could get some lollipop sticks and you could make a little house.
I could use wood and a saw.
No, you can't.
So this is a small house for...
You can make a little house for Toasty.
We had a possum rescue yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah, we found it in some pot plants and we were like going to take it into animal rescue because we couldn't find... It was young, but not a baby.
Yeah.
I couldn't find its mother or anything. Then we were about to drive to animal rescue and there was a possum there. So we're like, well, let's just put it down. And it did not go to that possum. In fact, that other possum ran away, but then it ran away too. Like, well, I guess it's fine then.
Job done.
Job. It's no longer our thing. And then this morning I had to rescue a dog that was running around the neighborhood. Very exciting.
Rescued a tawny mouth owl, frogmouth.
Tawny frogmouth.
Tawny frog. We rescued one of those before.
When was that?
This was years ago. Driving along, Cheryl and I, and we saw one. I think it must have been attacked by a cat or something
that's
like that.
not good.
And it was, I had its wings were all bloody and things like that, and had to. I actually took off my shirt and kind of wrapped him up.
What a man!
Shirt. I know, so we didn't have another shirt, so I'm like,
Oh, you're all rugged and handsome and
took it to the vet.
Caring.
Kept it alive.
Yeah.
Hope that owl did well. Super cute.
That vet had a nice dinner that night. You remember at my family house growing up, we actually looked after 20 frogmans.
I do remember
for a while.
that. Yeah.
They shit everywhere.
Yeah, they're cute though.
They are cute.
Yeah,
they're nice
cute.
birds. Yeah. So my mother used to work for an animal sanctuary, so we looked after sugar gliders and snakes and all sorts of things. Still don't like snakes. I don't know what it is about snakes.
Snakes are alright.
Oh, their skin moves. It just I don't know. It's like I can just see evil squirming underneath the skin. It's like, what I really want to do, Paul? I want to be around your neck and just tightening.
I know, it sounds like your thing.
For a little while. They don't respect the safe word. And that's my big problem with snakes. Very bad BDSM etiquette. Okay. So did you like this week's hashtag?
I did. Hashtag roids.
Roidos. Because that's what they call Metroids when you're cool.
Roidos. Hashtag Roidos.
When you're like trying to ride them for entertainment, it's called a roideo.
We've tried to coin lame terms at work.
Oh yes,
like when we get a new build, we like to call them freshies.
Oh,
we go get a freshie.
We got a freshie on the pile, freshie on the stack.
There's certain people I'm going to say that now. There's certain people in the office that hate it, which just makes it all the better. Gonna get me a freshie on the stack. I'm gonna say on the stack now. That's great.
Yeah, freshie on the stack.
Freshie on the stack.
And I go, I've got a freshie on the stack. I go, is it a spicy one?
Oh man, I'm gonna do it tomorrow because we've got the build machine doing its thing.
Yeah.
So when that build's done, I'm gonna say, hey boys, there's a freshie on the stack. It's spicy.
Your office sounds like a miserable place. Good. Thank you for watching and listening to 8.5bit. You can catch us on our website, 8.5bit.com, our Twitter and Facebook, and please like and share anything like that. Subscribe to us on iTunes, and if you do, please leave us a review because reviews help us share the love. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Paul.
And I've been James.
We'll catch you later, folks.
Thank you.